chance to look at the whole chapter as a whole. I always love to, when I read something, just look at the whole message of the chapter. And one thing that I realized that Paul is challenging the Ephesians church and to live a life of godliness, living in God's glory.
Yep.
And he's saying that in order for the church to live in God's glory, there are a few things that they need to do. The first thing they have to do is they have to be unified. And that's the reason why in the beginning of the chapter, you talk about like unity. Come together. And sometimes in this world that we live in, man, in the church that we are, sometimes it's very divisive.
Very divisive.
It's very divisive. I'm pretty sure some church that's divisive. And it happens all the time in the Haitian community, where people cannot get the leadership team.
I don't think it's just the Haitian community.
No, I'm just saying that, it happens all the time in the Haitian community, the Hispanic community, the American. I'm not going to blast every church, there's always divisiveness. Yes.
Even in the workplace, you have divisiveness.
Even in the team, even though, say team, we're supposed to be a team.
There's division in everything.
Division, yes. So, and one thing that Paul is doing in the beginning of the chapter, he's calling, if we want to live in the glory of God, the church have to be unified. And the second thing that he did in the text that I love is that, he's showing that, God instilled leaders in the church, and he gave them purpose. But even though there's diversity, but they still need to come together to equip the believers. I don't know if you guys see what I'm saying.
He asks us to unify ourselves. Then within the church, you have to unify. When the leadership comes together, the leadership needs to unify also.
Yes. And that's when he was saying some people have the gift of apostle. Some of them, they can be
prophetess.
Yes, and all of that. So they have different purpose. But even though we have different purpose, but we still have to come together as one.
What verse? There's a not so much a verse, but there's an outline that the Bible depicts, and it talks about the head, the arm, the leg, the feet, the mouth. Like, my arm could do this and my leg could do that, but in order for my arm to do this and my leg to do that, we have to work as one. My body has to work as one in order to move together.
Yes.
I love that chapter when it comes to because God was speaking on how the church is like a body. The church is like a body. So, sorry, go ahead.
Yes,
Keep going.
You're right, definitely. Yes, that was a very concrete example.
Yeah.
And